Yes, you read that correctly. I am no longer unemployed. Before I jump headlong into this, if you haven't watched my 2 previous videos, I would suggest watching those because those are where I get into the details, the nitty-gritty details of how I went about looking for a job. This is just me explaining the job that I got and a little bit about how I got it. So, like I mentioned in the previous video, I landed an interview with the laboratory, and I felt like the interview went well. They said, we'll let you know Monday. That was not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that or something like that. So when a Monday rolled around, then it was 10 a.m., then it was noon, then it was 3, and I was like, shit, maybe they're not going to call me, maybe it was that bad, or I don't know. And I was getting really anxious about it. And they called me and they were like, hey, the position we originally interviewed you for, we're going to give that to someone in-house who expressed interest rather than from hiring outside. I was like, okay, fair enough. I was pretty disappointed about that, but it is what it is. And they were like, well, we'd like to offer you this other position that's not analytical, it's not testing, but it's full-time, has all the same benefits. And I was like, yeah, I guess. In my head, I was thinking, it probably doesn't pay as much as the analytical role, but I don't have much of a choice. I've only gotten 2 offers at this point and 4 interviews, so I'm not in a position to be picky. So I was like, give me 24 hours to think about it, and I'll call you back. And they're like, okay. And I talked to Anna about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not in a position to be picky. All I can hope for is that I get this job, and then I can potentially move up, because we're going to be here 4 or 5 years. At least 4 years, probably closer to 5. Maybe even more than that. And it's like, yeah, I should take this. So I called them the following day, and I was like, I'll take the offer. They're like, great. Can you come in an hour and a half? And I was like, wow, okay, yes. I'll be there in an hour. So I had to get changed, take a shower, all of this good stuff, shave, and then I showed up and immediately jumped headlong into all of this. All of my coworkers are really nice. They're always happy to help me when I have questions, because of course I have a lot of them. It's a very detail-oriented job, and I'll get into the specifics in a second. And the work environment is basically as casual as it can be. I can listen to music while I work, as long as it doesn't interfere. Almost everyone walks around with headphones on. You'd think it was a gym or something. I can wear literally whatever I want, as long as it's not offensive, and as long as it's below the knee and the shoes are closed-toed. Because I work with a lot of acids and bases, and those will just eat through your clothes. So it's kind of not a great idea to wear nice clothes. So I can wear whatever I want, and the environment is extremely casual, probably as casual as it could be, which is great. But as far as the position itself, what I do mostly is I prepare these containers for samples to be taken in, and then I have to put a bunch of these containers, depending upon the type of samples that are being taken, the type of substance it is, and whether the client is doing it, whether they're picking up or we're shipping it, or one of the technicians in the laboratory is going out into the field and collecting it. I have to make these kits of all these containers and associated paperwork and all these kinds of things, and I put it in a cooler so that it can be put on ice after samples are taken, and I prepare them for collection. Then when samples come back in those same coolers, I have to unpack them, make sure everything's there, make sure the proper temperature, sometimes test their pH and conductivity, and then I have to send all the samples either to the walk-in cooler for testing later or immediately take them to whichever lab they're going in, whether it's heavy metals or getting tested for toxicity or microbiology or drinking water or wastewater analysis, those kinds of things. And that's 90% of what I do. That's how all of the samples are going out. They're going out in kits, primarily for clients to do that. So that's how all the business is coming in, essentially. So there's a lot of those. I've only worked there, 4 days. Tuesday was my first day. Today's Sunday. And each day on average, I'm probably preparing between 15 and 30 of those coolers, and probably about the same as coming in every day. Maybe about the same, yeah. So between unpacking coolers and then preparing the kits themselves, I stay pretty busy. I've tried to like weasel my way into other responsibilities and stuff. So yeah, it's very detail oriented, but I'm just given my day's workload, and as long as I get it done that day, no one cares what I do the rest of the time for the most part. So I can take lunch whenever I want. I can take it at 9 a.m. I can take it at 5 p.m. Doesn't matter. As long as I do my day's work, I can do it whenever I want, which is great. I think that's what most people strive for in a job, is maximal autonomy and minimal oversight, which I'm about. So the autonomy is great. The work environment, nothing to complain about. The only thing I was disappointed about was the pay. It pays $12 an hour with some overtime here and there, not a regular thing. And I was really disappointed about that at first, but then I became less so because I realized the job that I originally interviewed for pays the same. So they pay the same across the board for all inexperienced people who don't have experience in that position. So that made me feel a little bit better. So I feel like, in general, there are two reasons to take a job. One of which is it pays great right off the bat, solves problems immediately. And two, maybe it pays a little bit less, but it provides really good experience. So I took this job, one, because I'm not really in a position to be picky, but primarily for number two. Hopefully I will be able to show my enthusiasm and an eagerness to learn things and take on new responsibilities and be able to like work my way into more responsibility, more things to do, and hopefully a technician position at some point. I don't know how likely that is or what, but I feel like over the course of 4 or 5 years, that will probably happen. I do have to wait 3 months before I can get benefits, but those are on the table. And they seem pretty reasonable and reasonably priced. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. Probably not, just because I get a lot of stuff through the VA. And I have to wait a year before I can get a bonus and before I get 401k matching. So hopefully that bonus will make my time worth it. If not, I don't know what I'll do from there. Though I'll just have to see, and I'll have to work my ass off in the meantime and make an excellent case for myself getting a promotion or getting a raise at the very least. So now what? Well, I think now that I have a work schedule, I'm going to make my weekly schedule a little more regimented. So during the week, obviously, I'm working. Saturdays, I'm probably going to devote to my personal learning because I feel like that's always important. So I think I'm going to get back into coding. Anna, my wife, is taking a graduate level machine learning class. So I'm probably going to basically do that with her. And I'm going to try and cook up some more Python projects and do that myself just so I can, more experience, another skill in the toolbox. And then I'll reserve Saturdays for doing my long runs, preparing for my long runs, because that takes some time, and just doing like household chores and stuff. What's left for this channel? I don't know. I can continue to talk more about my personal projects and other things that I do in life, maybe transition slightly to a vlog style channel. I don't know what you guys would like to see, but my job process is basically over, and that was the point of the last 4 years. Starting college, trying to make myself marketable, and then the job hunting process itself. So what else there is to say about that, I'm not sure if there is any. As always, I'm happy to field questions and make dedicated videos for those questions if I feel like they warrant detailed answers and they're good information. But beyond that, I'm not sure what other content there is to make. Again, feel free to give me suggestions or things you want to see or what. But beyond that, thanks for sticking around. This has been a very long process. 4 years I've been basically building up to this and making videos, trying to be helpful to other people, trying to make videos that age well. Yeah, thanks for coming along the ride with me. It's been interesting. It's been fun. It's been a learning process unto itself. The subscribers continue to pour in pretty regularly, so thanks for that. I think in a couple months I'll probably be breaking 1,000, which will be wild. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.